Welcome back to another Millennial Monday, bringing you all your adult book recommendations to bring joy. And I, for one, am glad that February is over, and I would be really happy never to see another ice storm again. Ice, never. Stop, collaborate, and listen. I hate ice that's misting. Today on Millennial Monday, we have a doozy of an episode. We have a Southern Gothic thriller. We have a witch intent on revenge against gods, and we have one ghost story Gilded Age romance. So buckle up for another episode of Millennial Monday.
This commercial break is sponsored by Book Buddies. Book Buddies, for when you want to be left alone.
Hey, hon, what you doing? What do you want? Just checking on you.
Are you tired of being interrupted while reading?
Yes, you were interrupting me right now.
Well, I've got a solution for all those pesky people. Introducing Book Buddies. Use the happy side to show it's okay to interrupt your reading. And then turn them inside out to the grumpy side when you don't want to be bothered.
Book Buddies, for when you want to be left alone. There are some books that you read, and if anyone interrupts you, it's always when you're at the best part, or you're trying to read an 800-page masterpiece. You, my precious, yes you are. Team Nesta forever. And one book that you are going to want to read without interruption is The Witch's Heart by Guinevere Gornichek. Angerboda is a witch that Odin has burned 3 times at the stake, and then also he tears out her heart. All because she won't give him a prophecy of the future. Boda survives the 3 burnings and manages to crawl into the iron woods. She regenerates, but she doesn't have her memories or her heart. Loki finds her in the woods and returns the heart that was stolen from her chest. She starts to make a life for herself in the iron woods, and she also starts to have children with Loki. But then her dreams start to show her a dark prophecy, and it involves her children. This is going to be one of my favorite fantasy novels of the year. I can already tell. It is a subversive feminist take on Norse mythology that is in the vein of Mists of Avalon. Boda is a witch that has been tortured by the gods, and her children are in danger. And even if you don't know anything about Norse mythology at all, I think the themes of motherhood, the power of women, and the oppressive patriarchy will really speak to a lot of women. This is going to be a 5 out of 5 star read for me. It was absolutely wonderful, and you will not want to be interrupted while you are reading it. Mostly because there are no chapters. That's right. This is a part 1, part 2 book with no chapters to break them up. Good luck trying to find a place to stop. Just read it all the way through. So if you are looking for your next absolutely fantastic 5 out of 5 star fantasy read, I would suggest The Witch's Heart. What you reading? Jane Eyre. It's one of my favorite books ever. Really? You don't find anything weird with it? No. Rochester loves Jane. She's like a teenager. You know what? I have a book for you. Here, I'm gonna hand this to you. The Wife Upstairs? Yeah, it's a retelling of Jane Eyre in modern day. I think you'll love it.
A few minutes later.
What did you give to me to read? Oh my goodness. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins is a retelling of Jane Eyre set in a modern Southern Gothic setting. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Don't get me wrong, when I was a teenager, I loved Jane Eyre. I related to Jane. She made sense to me. It was only when I got older I started to look at the novel differently, and the whole situation's a little weird. Rachel Hawkins gives us a modern day interpretation of Jane Eyre that feels very Gone Girl. It is a suspense thriller that will have you turning pages. We already know the wife is upstairs, but how did she get there? And how would a modern day Jane deal with the situation? And finally, how would love work between Jane and Edward with secrets so dark and deep? One part Stepford Wives, one part Gone Girl, and a whole lot of mystery for a story that you already know. And with extremely short chapters and a page count under 300 pages, you will fly through this book. Jane is very different on the page. She is a modern day woman with ambition. And she also has a secret that is very shocking, but it also twists the narrative in just the right way. This novel explores class, power, and status in a way that shines a light on Southern morals. It showcases all the ugly under the fake hospitality, aprons, and bunk cake. I recommend The Wife Upstairs to anyone who cannot get enough thrillers or who would like to see a modern day interpretation of Jane Eyre. Boo. Ah! Who are you? I'm the ghost of romance past, bringing you a book you've never heard of before. Oh, cool. This doesn't look like a romance novel. Read the back of the book. Covers can be deceiving. Ooh. Take a Joanna Shupe Gilded Age romance, stir in a Simone St. James ghost story, add a pinch of Julia Quinn banter, and voila, sheer fun. Lauren Willig. Oh, this sounds pretty good. My job is done. My spirit can now depart. Ooh, weirdo. Okay, guys, you are getting an older romance to round out our selections today, mostly because I was busy this past weekend with this chunky girl. Side note, Sarah J. Maas has officially burned down her YA house, and she's holding the match smiling. She whispers into the dark, "I'm coming for your money, George R.R. Martin." But I digress. You are getting an amazing review of a romance novel that I did not realize was a romance novel till about 100 pages in. When I picked up this book, I looked at the cover and I said, cool, another Gilded Age historical mystery. I had just finished reading Deception by Gaslight and I was looking for something in the same vein. But then 100 pages in, I was like, oh, this is a romance. There are so many mixed reviews out there about this book because people did not know what they were picking up when they got it. This is for my Sarah MacLean girls, my Joanna Shupe loving fans, my Tessa Dare girlfriends. This is not for mystery fans. This is a paranormal romance with steam. Choo choo! All aboard for steamy romance! Alva has recently returned to New York City after the death of her husband. She had been living in Paris for the last few years because her late husband had painted her as a treacherous Jezebel in the newspapers. But with his death, she starts thinking maybe she can have her own life again. Alva returns to New York City and her parents want nothing to do with her, but she is determined to build a new life for herself here. So she buys a dilapidated mansion in New York and decides to renovate it. She's hoping it will be the basis for her new book about interior design. But what Alba didn't know when she bought the building is that it's haunted, and no contractor wants to step foot inside the building. Her only hope is Samuel Moore, a scientist who wants to study the ghosts and try to understand them, and maybe try to get rid of them. Okay, so if this sounds like a setup for a historical mystery with ghosts, that is not what this book is about. This book is really about Alva's journey to healing from what her husband did to her, and then also learning that she deserves love. Yes, Malcolm is the hero of our novel, and his family is giving me straight up Bridgerton vibes. That's right. His whole family is inventors, scientists, and doctors, and they are always setting off the fire alarms in every hotel they stay in. They bicker, they banter, they are wonderful. And the sister is giving me straight up Eloise vibes. Honestly, Malcolm wouldn't be as hot as he is without his family. This is a 5 out of 5-star read for me. It was not what I was expecting when I picked it up. I thought I was getting a historical mystery. What I got instead was a romance with tension, with va-va-boom, with a Bridgerton-esque family that I wanted to be a part of. So do not let this cover fool you, and if you are looking for a Gilded Age romance, I would check out The Widow of Rose House by Diana Biller. And that's going to be it today for another Millennial Monday. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to like us on Facebook and check out our website at www.scottpublib.org for all of our upcoming programs, to check out our catalog, or to go ahead and apply for your own library card. Now, let's dance party out of here.